Thank you. Thank you. Welcome to Roland Grimes, not just sports and entertainment show, Roland Grimes Show Live. I'm your host, Roland Bubba Grimes. Once again, your chocolate troglodyte here on the scene at Everlasting Life Restaurant, 9185 Central Avenue, Capitol Heights, Maryland. As we continue this journey, the mothership has taken off, and we're not going to land for a while. As you go and check out grimesnation.com, you will find we posted somewhere in the neighborhood of about 200 episodes. At this point, we've had, we started with, my man reminded me tonight, we started with Greg Boyer, Todd Bozeman, Wilbert Skipper, okay, Lawrence Helms, not Lawrence Helms, it was his brother Eugene, and a whole bunch of other folks, and we went all the way through to Sweet Cherie from Belladonna. We recently had Sean Allen, also of Divas DC. And we will be rolling into July with a special month dedicated toward your finances, your wealth, your development. So we're going to dedicate that particular show to the Gap Band, Greenwood, Archer, and Pine, that part of Tulsa, Oklahoma that used to be called Black Wall Street. When you get a chance, I want you to go Google Black Wall Street. If you don't know about it, I want you to find out about it, because we're going to quiz you on it. And if you actually get some of the questions right on the survey, you may win a prize, maybe a trip to Cancun, Mexico, or some other good place over the next 4 or 5 weeks. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, Roland Bubba Grimes, I just want you to sit tight as we welcome our first guest. He is a young man who's going to be running for state delegate in the state of Maryland, and I will introduce him to you shortly. But in the meantime, check your phone, 301-996-0052, 301-996-0052. Any questions or comments, you can text me on that number, and then we will respond to you over the air. We'll call your name out and embarrass you in front of all your friends so they can talk about you at the water cooler tomorrow. Anyway, Roland Bubba Grimes here. Tuesday night, we finally got past the storm. I guess there's another one coming, Keisha?
Yes.
There's another one coming?
Yes.
Okay. God bless Tuesday night. Every Tuesday night, we've called on Dr. Baruch, who owns the place, said he's just going to avoid me for the rest of his life because obviously there's something going on with my karma. Sit tight. We'll be back in a few minutes. Roland Bubba Grimes, Roland Grimes Show. Right back at you. Mr. Thorne. Thank you. Once again, you know, I wish I could turn the camera around and you can see this beautiful crowd of people we have here. Aren't they great to look at, my brother?
Oh yeah, it's a nice crowd in here. I'm glad to be here.
Man, on a Tuesday night, nice and warm, hot and humid. I haven't started sweating yet. I'm waiting to sweat because I'm trying to lose weight. As you all know, I've told you that for the last 2 years that I'm trying to lose weight, and I think next year I'm actually going to do it. In the meantime, I have a young man here who hails from the Washington, D.C. area by way of High Point High School, and he's going to fill in the rest of his resume because it's what's all this with High Point?
That's right.
Raise the roof with High Point.
That's right.
Man, when did they build High Point? 1977 is when they built it?
Yeah, but High Point used to be the best school in Prince George's County back then.
Yep. Yep.
That's a fact.
I'm sorry. On my shirt says Bishop McNamara in Prince George's County, Maryland.
Sir. No, sir.
You say it so convincingly, I'm actually going to believe you for about 3 more seconds. 3, 2, 1. It's over now. Bishop McNamara versus High Point in any sport. But you know what? I digress. We'll get back to that in a second. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce you to my left and your right, a young man. I'm going to introduce to some and present to others. Young man running for state delegate here in the state of Maryland. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Mr. Darrell Barnes. Yeah. Now, Darrell, the first thing I'm going to ask you is this. As I ride through the town and I see these billboard ads with your picture on it and other people who are running for office, for those of novices those novices out there, tell us how in the world do you all put those things together, construct them in the middle of the night, hang them up, and how do they withstand these monsoons that come through this area?
You know, most people put them up in the middle of the night for strategic purposes, to give that effect when folks wake up in the morning, you see all these signs all over the place. You know, you can probably get a sign up in 20 minutes. You know, by the time they construct the frame and get everything together, 20 minutes flat, that sign is up and then moving on to the next one.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So they start like all night, they start early in the evening and finish in the morning?
They finish early.
Now I heard a strategy, you tell me if you've heard this before too.
Okay.
When folks wake up in the morning and your signs are up there, in essence, on Friday night you were nowhere, Saturday morning you're everywhere. Is that the way it works?
That's the way it works.
And you employ that same strategy?
We've adopted certain principles of that strategy.
That's what I meant. Tell me about state delegate. What the heck does that mean for those of us who know absolutely nothing about politics?
Well, everyone here, you know, as a state delegate is equivalent to a congressman on the federal level. Our job is to bring back money and resources to the county, primarily in my district. I'm running for Legislative District 25 here in Prince George's County, which consists of Upper Marlboro, Kettering, Mitchellville, Camp Springs, District Heights, Capitol Heights, Morningside, Suitland, Forestville, Clinton, and a snippet of Fort Washington. District 25 is by far the largest district in the state of Maryland.
No question.
And it's the most powerful district in the state.
Largest geographically or largest population-wise?
Both. Yeah. Yeah. Right now, we probably represent almost 180 residents just in District 25 alone. In the state of Maryland, in Prince George's County, rather, we have roughly 900,000 residents in the state of Prince George's County.
In the county of Prince George's County, 900,000 residents.
Yeah.
Right. And so, as you canvass this area and you make decisions on where you're going to spend the majority of your time, how do you split yourself up in 75 different directions?
Well, it's hard. You know, running for a state delegate is just like owning a business. You have to make sure you have the right staff, the right personnel on board, the right people to help you navigate through things, the right communications folk to make sure that you're sitting in front of the right people like yourself that will help you get your message across to the masses. That's one part of the strategy. The other part is aligning yourself up with the right party or the right people to help elevate your platform and the things that you're trying to get accomplished.
Now, part of that platform, give me 2 or 3 bullet points.
Well, for me, number one is education. Education is always by far the number one issue here in Prince George's County. In Prince George's County, unfortunately, we're at the bottom as a rating in education. Sure. In education, we're 24th, 23rd as far as in the state of Maryland. The goal is to move that up through conversations and dialogue with our county executive and with our new superintendent. They have vowed to make sure that they move that notch up at least 3 places before our county executive term ends this year. So I'm excited about that. Number 2 is job creation. Out of all the candidates that are running for public office, I am the only one that have been able to put 408 people to work over the last 2.5 years. I'm real excited about that. On Thursday, June the 12th, I'll be employing 100 young people for the summer. So for me, making sure that our young people have something to do, that they're being productive and not doing disruptive things is number 1 on my list. So we want to make sure that those folks get employment. Number 3, I'm a veteran of the United States Navy and the United States Army. In Prince George's County, we have 70,000 veterans that live in the county, but 28,000 of them are homeless. That is a huge concern. We have 150,000 residents in Prince George's County that do not have health insurance. That cannot happen. So those things or those agenda items are part of my platform that I want to stress and continue to work on and fight for the residents in the county.
Now, I know you have another venue to go to, and I appreciate you stopping there. A couple things real quick. When you talk about having an opportunity to employ people, yes. What is the venue in which you're employing them in?
Well, the last job fair that I did, I had 4,000 residents show up. 4,000. I had 110 employers. We were able to hire 120 20 people on the spot.
That's impressive.
And that's across the board. The people that we're hiring on June the 12th is our young people, primarily between the ages of 18 and 29, that will get employed. We partner with Shoppers Pharmacy and Food to make sure that those people get employed, not only for the summer, but for long-term career opportunities. Not just those that are stocking, but they're looking for management positions as well.
Okay. Now, for those who don't know you as intimately as I've got to know you over the last week or so, tell us a little bit about your background beyond High Point High School, the military service. You've done some things entrepreneurially, you've done some things professionally. Tell us about a couple of those things so we get an insight into how you operate.
And you talked about sports. I used to be a sports agent representing NBA and WNBA players. Still have 23 guys that's playing basketball overseas today. My sister just got the job at Georgetown. She's now the new head coach at Georgetown playing basketball. So I wanted to give her a shout out. I'm real proud of her.
Hey, sis.
I'm also a small business owner. I own an IT firm, primarily government contracting. That's why I look at the job as a state delegate essential to my background, in which I've been able to negotiate contracts. If you know anything about athletes and their egos are swelled to no end.
No, man, that's not true. You know I was going there, right?
Yeah.
I'm just as humble as a lion.
See? So dealing with folks down there in Annapolis will be a little bit easier for me than those without that kind of experience.
Right.
You know, I sit on different boards and commissions. I was just appointed by the governor to be on the airport zoning board here in Baltimore, Maryland. I sit on the executive board of the NAACP. I'm the vice president of Blacks in Government. I sit on the board of the Sea Pleasant Capitol Heights Boys and Girls Club. I'm the president of my homeowners association. So the list goes on and on and on about what I do and the things that I'm involved in the county.
Okay, super. Look, real quick, folks, I just want to let you know, when I had a chance to meet Darryl, we were actually at a political forum that was going on here last week at Everlasting Life, and it was funny because as I was on my stump preaching my thing.
That's right.
Okay. He was one of those guys who didn't say a lot, but I could look in his eyes and I could tell that he was hearing something. And evidently something I said resonated with him. Now there's some people that have been around me for a number of years who have heard my speeches and seen me on the stump, and you're going to see a few of them in a minute, and they'll tell you some stuff about Bubba Grimes, Keisha, that you don't even know. But I'm always intrigued whenever I am near someone and that light bulb either comes on or they look at me and they don't say a word. They kind of give me that Jim Brown look, kind of like, you know what, I heard you, man. And then this guy stepped off into the twilight. I don't even remember saying bye.
No.
But then he came back today, and of the 27 people that I invited to come back, Darryl showed up. Let's give him a hand. Because you were voting him. Now, I'm going to, because you have the early voting coming up,
yes.
I will be here next Wednesday.
Good.
I will extend another invitation to you.
All right.
And you come in and you get to know folks when you have time. You can go shake their hands and kiss the babies and the things that we're supposed to do.
Absolutely.
And pass your card out. We'll be here next Wednesday. I'll make sure it's extend that invitation. Before I go, though, I want to give people an opportunity to ask any questions if they have. Just slip your hand up, ask the question. I'm going to check my phone. Go ahead.
One of the biggest problems in Maryland, and specifically Prince George's County, is the foreclosure problem. You didn't itemize that in your agenda. What are your specific plans to help homeowners keep their homes in Prince George's County?
You know, that's a great question and a huge concern. And I only gave a snippet of my platform, so I wasn't able to address the foreclosure crisis, economic empowerment, or sustainability here in the county. But to your point, you know, the foreclosure rate has a lot to do with the faulty loans and things like that. Also has a lot to do with people needing jobs. And as I travel around, our young people and our elderly people are telling me, you know, I don't want to be the stick-up kid. I don't want to do disruptive things. I need a job. I've been working closely with the NAACP to create a moratorium on foreclosure. I've been working with Aisha Brayboy, who's also running for Attorney General, about our foreclosure problem in the county and creating that moratorium to try to give some relief to our homeowners here in Prince George's County. Secondly, we have to do something about our property taxes here in the county. We have to diversify our tax base in the county, in which our taxes are so high, in which it causes problems or hardship on those that are trying to live in their homes. A large part of that has to do that we have to bring in or attract commercial businesses to Prince George's County. Number one, nobody wants to come to Prince George's County because of our school system. So that's always the number one issue in which we have to address. Number two, we're about to embark on a $6 billion economic growth in the county, meaning the new MGM casino that's coming, whether you voted for it or not, is coming. I personally voted not for it, but I am supporting the fact that we're able to create jobs and diversify our tax base. Number two, you have the Department of Housing coming from Annapolis. Pray to God, knock on wood, whatever you believe in. You have the FBI coming. You have the Westphalia Project coming. And lastly, you have the regional hospital coming. So as I travel around, I'm also telling small businesses, be prepared for this economic growth. If we are the most affluent county in the world, then we need to be prepared for it. So to your point, as far as foreclosure, with the economic boom, as far as commercial businesses that are coming, that would help with the foreclosure rate, with the moratorium that's going on or trying to happen. That would also bring some relief to our homeowners here in the county, working with people like Senator Muse down in District 26, Aisha Braveboy, who's running for Attorney General, the NAACP, who's leading that fight, will also help with the foreclosure crisis in the county.
That moratorium has been talked about for quite some time. When will it become effective?
Well, once again, it has been talked about. Actually, not for long. The fight has been happening just this past legislative season. What needs to happen is you have to attract other new candidates or like-minded individuals that want to push that at the forefront. That has to be on the forefront of the agenda. That's one of the reasons why I'm running, is that I want to support and help my people as best that I can. In order for me to do that, one, I have to win, and I need other folks like yourself that's out here in the community that's raising your hand and say we have to do something about these issues.
All right, I have time for one more question.
Are you on any social network?
Yes, I'm on Facebook, Darryl Barnes. I'm on Twitter.
Two R's or one?
2 R's, D-A-R-R-Y-L, last name Barnes, B-A-R-N-E-S. And I'm on Twitter at Vote Barnes.
Okay.
Okay, we did have a question text in. And the question is, who's your wardrobe consultant? Because you're making that charcoal gold, gray pinstripe suit look real good.
I knew I was coming, so I picked this one out.
My man, well, you know how I dress. Damn. Hey, folks, do me a favor. It's hot in here. That's why Roland Grimes is in his sweats. But my man Darryl Barnes is keeping it cool for us. Put your hands together as he heads over to the other side of town to meet with some other folks. Put your hands together for Darryl Barnes. Get a chance to say hello to the folks.